probably the last video for a while. Today is probably the last day that's going to be pretty warm. Sorry for the video last time. Last time I only had a t-shirt on. So what happened is that because the t-shirt's so loose that, it's just basically the camera is clipped. Oh, hang on 1 second, there's something. Interesting. Okay, anyway, I'm on 2 bars. So I want to talk about like battery charging today. I did increase the PAS a little bit. Also, it's pretty wet out. Just gonna head to the store real quick, buy some things. I did change the PAS, so it's a little bit more. It's a little quicker. So as you can see, I'm going like around 13 miles per hour. Before I was going at like maybe 12. So I'm 1.5 miles quicker. So yeah, so charging. I think a lot of people, and I don't fault them for doing this, because wow, it is windy. A lot of people, it's a westerly wind, so we'll get a pretty good, going there we'll get pretty good battery usage, pretty low battery usage, but going back will be, this battery's definitely going to be drained. So anyway, what I was saying is like, a lot of reviewers basically, in range tests, they charge it to 100% full, and then they discharge it to 0 to get the full range. So that's not very good for your battery. You do now and then. I don't think that's a problem, but if that's what you're doing consistently, and you're also like juicing it to the max, doing max power, I think it becomes a problem with your battery health and longevity. So what I've done is I basically follow, and I think there's a video on this as well. And I knew this knowledge beforehand, but it's a pretty good video, and he talks about the longevity of the battery. So you really basically there's storage and also charging. So we're not talking about storage, but charging wise, what I do is I charge it. So here you actually kind of have to monitor it. So so right now it's at 2 bars, so that's okay. That last bar, that second bar actually lasts quite a long time. So what I do is once it hits 1 bar, that's when I'm gonna start charging it. I'm not gonna charge it when it hits 0 bar. As soon as it hits 1 bar, right? Obviously I'm on a trip now, so I can't charge it. But if I do hit 1 bar, I won't go on another trip until I charge it. So 1 bar is my cutoff threshold, so to speak. And that should be around like 20%, maybe. There's 5 bars on this battery. So if it's like, linear, equal 20% each, I'll charge it when it's 1 bar. I won't charge it when it's 0 bars. So what does that do to range? So on my first test, I did get like 100 miles on the range, and that was also including fast riding to work. Oh, the sun is coming out. Nice. But really, the plan now is to charge it when it hits 1 bar, and only charge it to when it ticks 5 bars. So basically, the first tick of the 5th bar. So I'm not charging it to full. So you have to watch it when you charge it. So when you charge it and it hits 80%, and I wish there was a way to, like a smart charger that cuts it off at, you know, a certain voltage. But unfortunately, you know, the charger is not that smart. I don't have one of those smart chargers that you can like determine what the voltage is, the ending voltage. So here, I'm basically going to charge it up to the 4th bar, and then the first flash of the 5th bar, then I'm just going to stop charging it. Or maybe I'll just wait a couple minutes or whatever on the 5th bar. So that should be around, like, you know, 80% on the charge. And I think at that point, that would be a good stopping point for the battery health. So basically, it's around 80% to around 20%. So what does that do in range? You know, I think most of the range is actually around that area, but it's definitely going to significantly reduce my range. But what I'm doing is obviously I'm putting the battery life priority over the range, if that makes sense. So you don't need to do that. I think it's very important with, especially with these lesser quality batteries, like these Chinese batteries. You kind of really don't want to put them down there. You still get a lot of range. I mean, it's still very, very good for the bike, or for my use. So, you know, before I was getting maybe 100, maybe now I'll get like 80 or 70 using pedal assist, and that's fine, because also the season is pretty much almost over as well. Tomorrow it's going to be 50 degrees. Next week we might hit, Monday we should hit 65 when I go get my eyes checked. I didn't go today because it's actually raining at every time. I really am just literally riding everywhere. So I rescheduled my optometrist appointment simply because I couldn't ride to the appointment. But Monday it looks like we should be okay, and I'll ride then. But yeah, so you know, if you wanna, and I'm not just making this stuff up too. Obviously, this is in battery spec sheets. People have looked at this. Really, if you do want to keep your bike for a long time, I mean, I am at, whoops, 227 miles at the moment. I like to ride this for at least, you know, maybe 2,000, 3,000 miles. And that would really just, you know, to really get there and have good performance of the battery, I think you really do need to take care of it. Especially when I say lower quality batteries, I mean those batteries like Chinese cell batteries. This battery, I actually tried to look up the website that's on the battery, so it doesn't really return anything. I can't find any spec sheets whatsoever on this battery. So on a typical battery, like a Japanese or Korean cell, actually I think I'm running out of time on this, but so that is basically the video. Keep your battery 20 to 80%. You know, especially you want it to last for a long time. You do reduce range a little bit, but you know, I think it's worth it. All right, peace.